This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are live right here with a weekly roundup brought to you by the Value of Wrestling. And we're going to get right into it right after this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back and we are live right here on the Value of Wrestling. It is the weekly roundup, and I am here. And this week we're short one man, but that is okay. He will be back with us hopefully next week. Well, let's get into the introductions. You know me, I'm the one, the only, the Big Tyme. You know it. And of course, joining me today for this tag team event, the one, the only. You know it, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. It's going to be a two-man power team today. We're going to power through this quick, fast, and get through it. And we thank you for joining us. If you are in the chat, go ahead and say hi, like we just heard. We have highs. Drop your comments. Drop anything you think was important this week as we get into the discussion. And we're going to jump right into it as soon as I figure out. There we go. We're going to start off with Monday Night Raw. We're going to get right into Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw was overall a decent show. We opened up with Sami Zayn coming out to the ring, talking about how he's kind of upset that Kevin Owens has gone to SmackDown, but now he wants to make himself proven that he is a world championship material. Kind of talked about Jey Uso a little bit before Judgment Day came out. Judgment Day came around to surround him, but Jey Uso came out to save him. That's how we opened the show. We got a video package of Nakamura and Ricochet before we went backstage, and we had the Jimmy Uso, Sami Zayn kind of confrontation. Sami kind of snapped on Jimmy for a minute, or not Jimmy, sorry, Jey for a minute. I will get it right. Bear with me. With Jey for a minute, and then eventually he felt bad. Sami basically saying that Jey, it was kind of your fault that Kevin's not here. That now he's a tag team champion. They're not a tag team champion. Kind of had a confrontation, and then Sami's cooler head prevailed, and he kind of apologized and made peace with Jey, and the world is right. The opening match, we got Ricochet versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura beating Ricochet at 13 minutes 43 seconds. We then jump backstage with Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. Piper Niven then had a match with Natalya, beating her at 6 minutes, 27 seconds. From there, we got the backstage segment with Finn Balor and Damian Priest talking about attacking Drew McIntyre. Dominic saying that's probably not a good idea. And then Rhea Ripley comes up saying she was on the phone. She was getting ready for her match tonight against Shayna Baszler. Of course, then we got Seth Rollins in the ring with Drew McIntyre. They're continuing to build their storyline, build their feud. Seth Rollins pointing out that Drew McIntyre was hanging out with Shayna Baszler, and what was that all about? So we get to hear about Drew's side of all that story, and so we're getting more ready for a big match at Crown Jewel. We got a Bronson Reed video package, which was really good, building up to the match for the Intercontinental title later in the night. Johnny Gargano went one-on-one with Ludwig Kaiser. Kaiser got the win in this one. Vinci, but Kaiser kicks him in the face. We get a twisting DDT that finishes Gargano at 9 minutes and 51 seconds. Backstage, we got Indy Hartwell. She asked Becky Lynch for a match, so it looks like Becky will take on Indy Hartwell. Then we had Drew McIntyre confronting Sami Zayn. Drew couldn't believe Sami would just forgive Jey so easily after Jey used to was the right-hand man in the bloodline. This sets up a match between Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn later. So we have Rhea Ripley in her match. Of course, this all broke down when Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, and Zoe Starks all came in at the end. Zoe Starks just basically clears the ring. And then in the post match, it was just a beat down. Starks standing tall at the end of this one. It was made official that Becky Lynch will face Indy Hartwell next week. Of course, this is where Xia Li comes in and complains that she wants a shot. And then we got the moment with Jade Cargill where Becky tells Jade Cargill to get in line. And Jade Cargill calls her funny. Then we got the match of the night. This was a really good match. This was a solid match. This was a great match between Intercontinental Champion Gunther taking on Bronson Reed. Oh, this was two big men battling out. In the end, though, Gunther hits a beautiful power bomb on Bronson Reed for the pin, and we end the match. Gunther continues his infamous title run. In the back, we had The Miz complaining about Adam Pearce and says Nick Aldis should be running Raw before he's cut off by Nia Jax, who cuts a promo that we won't really talk about because who really cares?
You said her name.
I know, I said her name. I don't have time to hit the magic button at the moment. From there, we got Rhea Ripley confronting Adam Pearce. This eventually led to what is very interesting, a five-way match at Crown Jewel. So going from Crown Jewel, which originally started with they didn't want any women on the show, to having the first women's match, to now we're going to have 5 women in one match at Crown Jewel. So we're really making headway in this. We didn't get to see Jinder Mahal walk in with Indus Sheer. So it looks like we may finally get to see this tag team on Raw. Then we got the backstage segment with the Alpha Academy, the New Day. They're back and forth. And then Akira Tozawa doing his dance because everybody needs some dancing idiots on TV nowadays, apparently. Why? I don't know. We got a video of Logan Paul. He was going to be on SmackDown. And then we got Kofi Kingston's video where he opens the Children's Library and Digital Center in Ghana. Gunther with Ludwig praising him, but being not happy with Giovanni Vinci, saying that Gargano is still walking around and that Kaiser needs to take him out next week. And that leads us into the main event match. We had the title match, Judgment Day versus Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso are the tag team champions. A really good, solid match. It went back and forth until the end when Jimmy super kicks Jay, and Bauer then hits the coup de grace, and we see the titles change hand at 14 minutes. And Judgment Day, again, is your tag team champions. I don't know how to necessarily feel about that quick flip-flopping back and forth, but it is what it is. And now Judgment Day are your tag team champions once again. Decent, solid Raw. I don't think it was a horrible Raw. It wasn't a great Raw. It was a Raw. But Mr. Z, your thoughts on Monday Night Raw?
Solid, as like you said, solid Raw. It was a good way to kick off the week. That match with Gunther and Bronson Reed, I mean, you couldn't get no better match than that. That was my highlight right now.
No, it was definitely a great match. It was really two big boys, and Gunther came out looking very, very impressive in that match.
Powerbomb, he got him up for that.
Woo!
Like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, no, he hit him with that beautiful power bomb, and it was all said and done from there. And I can't say anything too bad about it. It was what it was. It got done what it needed to get done, and what a damn good. It was a good Raw. It was a good Raw. Wasn't great. Wasn't spectacular. Had it ups and downs. It's continuing storylines. We are getting a good build for the title for Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre at Crown Jewel. It'll be interesting. So we will have to see how that all plays going forward.
Yep.
Turn up your mic. People saying they can't hear you.
All right, can you hear me now? We good? We good?
Let's see here. Drop in the chat if you can hear Mr. Z.
Can you hear your boy? Please tell me you can hear your boy.
And we're waiting. Okay, but can you hear him now? Let's see.
Oh, no.
Well, so we're waiting on. All right. Well, I got echoing going on. I can't keep hearing this. Okay, they can't hear you. I guess turn up your. Can you turn it up anymore? Or?
All right, hold on.
Okay.
All right. All right. Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right, we good?
I don't know. I wish somebody would respond. Let's see here. Properties. Is that what I want? No, I don't want that property. I want advanced auto properties. Let's see here.
Sorry, folks, we are live and this happens.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Speak again.
We good?
It's hard for me to tell. I think you sound good now.
All right, well, okay, we can just move on if...
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sound good to me. Okay. On my device, you sound great. So we're there. Let's get into, I flashed NXT, but we are not going to get into NXT at the moment. We're going to jump right into AEW Dynamite. AEW Dynamite, live from Rosenberg, Texas. It looks like there. So, not a whole lot. The opening sequence, we saw Penta El Zero versus Jay White in a first time ever match. This is a big deal Tony Khan put out. Okay, good. Thank you. You are good now, Z. So we are great. We got a great back and forth match in the end. Juice Robinson gets in his left hand, I think with the quarters in his left hand. White hits the Blade Runner. We get a pin at 13-12. Really good, solid match. Post-match, White does mock the idea of MJF not being able to find some partners to face the club. Juice Robinson promises to win the Battle Royal. And then the ring next week. Of course, tonight was the Battle Royal, which he's going to take the ring upon it so that the Bullet Club Gold can go on vacation. MJF says he could have run in there after all those villains, but he's not stupid. He promises to keep the ring next week and hopes that it's against Robinson. He's asked about Cole, but Billy Gunn and the Acclaim come out. Matt Caster asked about scissoring and putting in the ring. So we got the Acclaim coming out and helping out MJF. Then we got a video package for Emi Sakura. Am I saying that right? Okay, Emi Sakura versus Hikaru Shida. This was a non-title match. This was a match that if Sakura won, she would get a title match later. At Shida, it was one of those, I forget what Tony Khan calls it, matches. But in the end, with the Fuji with the Falcon Arrow, Shida gets the victory, and so we go on from there. Hikaru Shida is still your women's champion, and it doesn't look like Shida is your women's champion. It doesn't look like Shakira. God, too many names. Samir is going to get any type of title match in the future. We get a sit-down interview. It was okay. Renee Paquette and Adam Copeland, they talk about Christian Cage. Copeland runs it down, talking about Christian kind of being jealous that Copeland was the man, and now he's done it here. So we're going to have to see how it goes. I don't think it was the best interview in that moment. Kind of felt lackluster. Kind of felt
a little forced.
I don't know if it was the very best interview in that segment. Anyways, we got a match versus Wardlow versus Ryan Nemeth. Actually, this wasn't even a match. This is kind of where the show started going downhill. Wardlow walked in, powerbombed Ryan Nemeth once, and Ryan Nemeth was dead. And I'm like, you really want to do that to Ryan Nemeth right now? You have Nick Nemeth out there as a free agent. You might want to bring him in, but you're just going to have Wardlow. I mean, he didn't take – everybody else is taking multiple hits and powerbomb. Ryan Nemeth took one powerbomb. He was done. The ref called the match. I don't even know if the match started. It was just a powerbomb and it was over.
I didn't hear it go. That's the funny part.
I know. It was very confusing. The match was called after one powerbomb. We're like, what? It wasn't the best. Tony Schiavone got in the ring and asked Wardlow what he wanted. Wardlow looked at it. There was wrist tape where it says MJF, and he's like, as stupid as Schiavone sounded in this moment, he's like, oh, that says MJF. Like, no, duh. Like, it was just horrible. And then Wardlow shoulder bumped Tony Schiavone, and Tony Schiavone did like a 360. It was just bad. At this point, I was just kind of over it. So then we got the Kenny Omega, Kyle Fletcher talking. Then MJF walks in, and they shake hands. Him and Omega shake hands, and then MJF says in Omega's ears, 13 days, bitch. Which I don't know what that refers to. 13 days from that day would be Halloween, so I don't know what we got cooking there. Oh, okay. So Halloween is 13 days from MJF becoming the longest reigning world champion in AEW history. So that's what it's all about. I hadn't caught on to that because I hadn't cared enough. And I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, there's a cat.
Apparently your cat.
Yeah, I don't know.
Your
Okay,
cat's
here.
giving its feelings about AEW today.
Yes. Okay, there you go. Okay, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Animals. All right. We had the Kingdom. We had another stupid vignette with the Kingdom with Roderick Strong, with Adam Cole. They wanted peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, is what it came down to, because Adam Cole makes amazing peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. The peanut butter looked nasty. The jelly looked, I don't know. They were using some off-brand health I don't know. It looked nasty to me. Didn't look happy. Roderick Strong finally took a bite of his sandwich for whatever reason, and then complained that Cole didn't cut the crust off. And now Cole is pissed off and decides to leave. And now Roderick Strong saying he's going to have to become friends with that scumbag. So yay! I'm not excited. This is kind of all this went downhill from like this point on. Then we got the Don Callis family in the ring. Powerhouse Hobbs talking about how he beat down Jericho. It just, Fletcher coming in. He's going to take on Mega. It just, wasn't one of the best things. Then we got the Kyle Fletcher Kenny Omega match. This was a good match. I was kind of drawn out of the show by this time, so I wasn't really super interested. But Kyle Fletcher would eventually lose to the one-winged angel, and Kenny Omega gets another victory here. Danhausen's coming back. We got a preview for Danhausen. Then we got a match between Barrett Brown and a Lance Archer. Lance Archer, God, who knows where he's been. Of course, he knocks this guy out, crushes him in the corner, and then hits a blackout and for a pin in 58 seconds. So Lance Archer makes a huge return for the night. We'll see where that goes. Prince Nana is really excited about Swerve Strickland's new music video being released. So we got on that. We had that brief moment. Here's chance for Sting.
Hey, real quick.
Yes.
You brought up Prince Nana. Have you noticed the viral videos of everyone doing his dance now?
Yeah. Well, we got.
He's gotten himself super over with everybody.
We got the dancing fools everywhere. We get Sting for a chat. Here's Sting. He talks about Luger and Steiner and Buff Bagwell. He talked about Dusty Rhodes and Hogan. He talked about Flair. He smells it in the arena. He loves it. But finally, Sting says his first match was at Revolution 2021 in AEW, and his last match will be at Revolution 2024. Sting is officially retiring from wrestling come next year at Revolution. So we shall see how that plays out, who he's going to face. A lot of people think they're going to bring Ric Flair. I hope they don't bring Ric Flair. We don't need Ric Flair in that mess.
No.
For any reason. We get another Tony Storm silent movie vignette, Gone with the Storm, and a picture-in-picture, so that was great. Then we got this crap, Nick Wayne's interview with his mom. Eventually, they go back and forth. Christian Cage comes out to take Nick Wayne away. Nick Wayne's mom slaps him. Then she feels bad and says, "Oh, I'm sorry." So, anyways. Here's what's coming up on various shows. Chris Statlander is getting a match with Natlander, Willow Nightingale. Chris Statlander is getting a match for the TBS, or having a TBS title match against Willow Nightingale at the Battle of the Belts, which happened on last night. Orange Cassidy didn't realize what he had lost until he got the international championship back, and he's going to face the winner of a triple threat on Rampage, which happened and went. And then we got the Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal. We had Dustin Rhodes in there, Juice Robinson, Johnny TV, Jake Hager, Matt Caster, Matt Menard, Trent Beretta, Commander, Matt Sydal, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy, Daniel Garcia. A bunch of really no names. I mean, this was pretty much set up for Juice Robinson to win. It was stupid. I think Tony Khan dropped the ball. You could add a Miro in there, an Andrade El Idolo. You could add a member of House of Black. There were so many other people you could have thrown in this match and a bunch of tag teams, because it was like Best Friends, the Hardys. It was all just kind of like you looked at it and go, there's nobody in here who's really a competitor. It's all about Juice Robinson, so what's the point? And so yeah, Juice Robinson wins. He's going to get the match for the Dynamite Diamond Ring against MJF, and so that's where we're set off with that. Dynamite started off hot, but by the time it got to a point of being anything, it just kind of died out. I lost interest once we got into the really bad booking of Wardlow. It just. And then the Nick Wayne and his mom there was no point in that. And then the Battle Royal was just kind of dumb to me, because you just pretty much showed us who was going to win. You didn't give us any competition or make us believe there was anybody else who could win this match. But, Mr. Z, your thoughts on Dynamite?
I'm right there with you. Wardlow's, I wouldn't even call it a match. He came in, boom, done.
Yeah.
It started off great, and then you have that. I'm done seeing interviews with wrestlers' moms.
I don't even know why
the-
Nick Wayne's mom's involved in any of this crap. It doesn't make sense to me. But hey,
And then the Dynamite Diamond Ring Battle Royal, like you said, they could have had guys that are normally not on the show in it to make it look competitive, instead of just giving us, we already know who's going to win.
yeah.
So that's my take from it.
Yeah, I would have been happy if they would have given us something else to be excited about in that moment. But anyways, that was Dynamite. It was kind of lackluster. It was kind of a wash. So let's jump into SmackDown. SmackDown, of course, was from San Antonio, so everybody was in Texas this week. We keep building to the crown jewel. Roman Reigns is going to take on LA Knight. So it'll be very interesting.
Yeah.
Of course, we opened with the long recap of the night. John Cena confronting the Bloodline, and then Paul Heyman's in the ring doing his introductions. Eventually, LA Knight comes in and gives Heyman a hard time. Heyman doesn't like the going down, and yeah. So LA Knight is
With everybody saying, no.
doing the and then he tells him to go call his buddy and tell him, it's LA Knight's game. What is he going to do? We get a video in the back. Bobby Lashley firing up Angelo Dawkins, or Bobby Lashley and Angelo Dawkins firing up Montez Ford as Montez Ford went on one with Santos Escobar. There's a big guy that takes out Ford, but Dawkins pulls him to the floor. The fight is outside, allowing Montez Ford rolls up Escobar at 8 minutes 51 seconds, giving Montez Ford a victory. We get a post-match beatdown before Carlito comes running in with the chair. After that, we get Rey Mysterio says the LWO is family. Despite not being out there for the match, says he has to deal with Logan Paul. Zelina Vega offers to be there with him, but he declines. So there's something seemingly going on with Rey Mysterio and the LWO that is interesting. Lots of rumors and speculation that Rey Mysterio may go heel. So it's never done it before. There's a first time for everything. So
yeah, I'm all for it. I would love to see a heel Rey Mysterio.
It would.
What's going to cause the heel turn is my question.
It'll be interesting. We'll have to see. Pretty Deadly, we're having a spa day, bragging about their win the last week. So they're done with the Brawling Brutes, who then jumped them from behind. So Pretty Deadly gets jumped by Pretty Ugly, as a vignette was out later with them. Yeah, Pretty Deadly called them the ugly guys that beat them up. It was quite funny. Jimmy Uso is bragging about costing Jay and Cody Rhodes the tag team titles last week, but Heyman sees Cena arriving on the monitor. Cena's here. Cena says thank you. Cena talks down about everything he's done and how it's been 2,200 days since his last win on a television singles match, and that's all the way back in 2018. Cena gets a match with Solo Sikoa out of this. So we get the spike. But gets caught up for AA. Of course, this goes to a no match. It's called off after all the interference. So Cena doesn't necessarily get a clean win. So we'll see how much longer Cena goes with this title run. We get a look at Logan Paul winning his boxing match from last weekend. And then we get a video package of the Judgment Day winning their tag team titles. Jimmy Uso is brought into Nick Aldis' office where Adam Pearce is here too. Aldis has fined Jimmy $10,000 and has him thrown out of the building. Was that Jimmy? Yeah, Jimmy got thrown out of the building, right?
Mm-hmm.
Adam Pearce here too, and Jimmy, and throws him out of the Pearce. No, it was Jay. At this point, Jay had interfered with the Cena and everything, and so now Jay had hit Jimmy, so Jay had been getting thrown out of the building and was fined. I think they got this backwards, and then he threw Pearce out of the building, and Pearce said, let the games begin. Here's Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio. Go ahead.
One more thing. How beautiful is it that Nick Aldis makes things so serious now?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think, if he's going to be the heel GM, if that's the storyline they're going with, they're definitely setting him up. But it's Nick Aldis. It's a national treasure. He's definitely bringing that character into play here. We just have to see the bigger picture on how it all plays out.
Exactly.
We get Logan Paul and Ray. Ray talks about how, He had to do this with Dom, his son, but now, he doesn't have to worry about it because it's Logan Paul, so he's going to take out Logan Paul, and we get a match for Crown Jewel for the U.S. title because that's what Logan Paul wanted. He wanted the U.S. title. We get a video package for Charlotte versus Io Sky. Then we get Cameron Grimes teaming up with Dragon Lee to take on the tag team of Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Really good, solid match between all of them. A-Town down finishes off Grimes at 6 minutes, 1 second. So Austin Theory and Grayson Waller continue their winning ways, and it'll be really great to see what they do with Theory and Waller here. Grimes and Dragon Lee are kind of going to be shuffled around until we figure out what we are going to do with them, but at least everybody's getting some TV time. They had a sit-down interview with Kevin Owens, who's upset for being split from Sami Zayn after losing the tag team titles, but he's glad to be back on SmackDown with a clean slate. He has a history with the Bloodline, and yes, the Yokozuna shirt just is a coincidence. He was wearing a Yokozuna shirt. And he goes back and forth, says to be professional, but people do say that Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, he did say that Austin Theory and Grayson Waller have punchable faces. So we're going to have to see how that plays out. Then we have the women's title match, Io Sky versus Charlotte Flair. A good match. Of course, as always, we get the interference at the end. Bayley put the rope of Io Sky on the rope, so the count ended. Charlotte goes after Bayley, so Dakota Kai offers another distraction, allowing Sky to win the title, to get the title. Io Sky had the title turn. Charlotte hit her with a spear, but actually hit the belt, and then Io Sky was able to pin her. 16:08, they started beating down, and then we got the return of Bianca Belair. It is what it is. It was a decent SmackDown. They continue building storylines, giving us matches. Io Sky is looking great with the title, even though I know they're having some of the damage control interference, but it's working out. It's doing good. I think it was a pretty good show for a SmackDown. We got the heat in the build with Rey Mysterio and Logan Paul, so we're going to see how that goes. So, Mr. Z, any final thoughts here on SmackDown before we move along?
That call out real quick with Logan Paul that happened after his boxing match, obviously. I do like the fact that he did bring up the fact that he was the one to him at their original tag match that they had in the beginning. So that was a good callback. Io Sky and Charlotte Flair was a great match. I'm starting to enjoy the fact that they're using old school ways of cheating. The spirit of the belt. That's classic.
Yep.
Overall, good show.
Yeah. No, it was a good show. Decent show. Anyways, I know we're rushing people. We're trying to get through some of this on a time crunch. But hey, each and every week things happen. Life goes on. So we're going to jump into Rampage. Rampage was your basic Rampage. A lot of people were tuning into this because of the big match here. Of course, we open with the Hardys and Brother Zay versus Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker. And the end, Garcia gets to do his dance, and an elevated gutbuster finishes off Zay at 9 minutes, 36 seconds. Post-match, the winners argue over Garcia's dancing. We get a flashback of the Bullet Club Gold interrupting an interview with El Pinto Zero and mocking him and Ray Phoenix for not having titles. Pinto says Phoenix won his title and calls Jay White a thief, arguing that Susan Pinto seems interested in the stolen AEW World title belt. Menard doesn't like Daniel Garcia dancing, but Angelo Parker says they just won. Jake Hager doesn't want to hear this arguing and says, squash this. Menard says everyone needs to squash it and walks off. Then we got Trent Beretta versus Jay Lethal in a really good match. Lethal injection gives Jay White the win. We get more Ortiz and Santana building up. We're going to see a challenge is issued, and then they talk a lot of trash. Santana says it wasn't Karma that took out his knees, but it was Ortiz. Then we got a beautiful match between Emi Sakura versus Sky Blue. And the end, Blue won. Blue definitely still showing her change since she's been hit with the miss from Julia Hart. This is not the right matches, is it? This is last. Is this last week's matches? Because something doesn't seem right. Because that seems like, yeah, this is last week's matches. Why did that go to last week's matches? Let me get back in here.
Go, brother.
How did we get Joe? Okay,
wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I thought it started sounding funky for a minute. Here we go. Let's get into these. The 20th, October 20th version of Rampage.
There we go.
All right. stuff happens because, yes, the opening match was the 20-minute, 30-minute match of Rocky Romero versus Mystico, the CML match. A great match. It gave everything that they needed.
Whew. Yeah.
It was a 2 out of 3 falls match. Mystico got the first one at 2:42, and then Romero got the next one at 9:52. But the match went basically 20 minutes. It was 18:35 with one heck of a Canadian's destroyer plants Romero, and a La Mystico makes Romero tap out at 18:35. So we got to see Mystico, the former Sin Cara in WWE, the original Sin Cara in WWE. But it was Mystico with a great win here. We get a face-to-face talk between Jay Lethal and Eddie Kingston. Lethal pitches his career for a Ring of Honor title shot, but Kingston doesn't say anything. Jarrett calls him a Bronx B, but Stokely decides to say, Stokely, for whatever reason, books a match, I guess, because he's the head of Ring of Honor on this, or he's the boss, so he books Jarrett versus Kingston, and if Jarrett wins, and Jay Lethal gets a title match, and we're going to have a Memphis street fight, which already gave you the prediction of everything that was going to happen there. You heard street fight, and you're like, okay, this is how they get Jarrett to beat Eddie Kingston. We got John Silver versus Kip Saban versus Brother Zay. The winner was going to get a shot at the international title on Collision against Orange Cassidy. Of course, my brain just went. John Silver gets the pin at 8 minutes, 8 seconds, and John Silver is going on to Johnny Hungy going on to get his title shot. Then we had the match of Wheeler Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli against Exodus Prime and Brian Keith. And then eventually, it doesn't even tell me there. Let's see. Okay. This was the swing into a drop kick. It finished the match at 1 minute, 44 seconds. It was nearly a squash for the Blackpool Combat Club. We get more backstage stuff between the Jericho Appreciation Society with Jake Hager storming off and Anna Jay telling them to get it together because they can win the trios titles. We get a moment with the Young Bucks and Hangman Page saying they are the Ring of Honor's trios titles, and they issue an open challenge for Dynamite next week. And then we get the announcement that the dream match of Andrade El Idolo versus Daniel Bryan will happen at Collision. I was disappointed. We had been hearing, there's going to be a dream match. Tony Khan had been building this dream match. Now, not to take away anything from Bryan Danielson or Andrade El Idolo. They are great. They are amazing. They are very talented. But this is not a dream match. I mean, they faced off before. And secondly, Andrade El Idolo hasn't been built as something special to make this feel like a dream match. And if you felt this was a dream match, why wouldn't you put this on a special card or somewhere where it would really mean something to get attention? It was a good match, and we'll get in that when we talk about Collision, but I wasn't excited. I'm like, this is your dream match? This is, Anyways, then we got Sky Blue versus Ruby Soho. Another no futures block by Sheree. He hits her with the spray can, hits the spray paint can, and Soho gets a roll up at 10 minutes, 3 seconds. Post-match beatdown, but Statlander makes a save, but Blue doesn't want the help to end the show. And that is your Rampage. It was Rampage. That was the 20th edition. We started off with the weeks previously for whatever reason, but hey, life happens when you're doing all this stuff live. It was a decent Rampage. The CML match between Mystico and Rocky Romero. Very, very good match. Very exciting match. But it ate up most of the card. But, Mr. Z, your thoughts on Rampage?
We all know I'm the New Japan guy, so I was a big fan of Rocky Romero in that match. That was very solid. Gave you a taste of what both the men can do. Obviously, Rocky Romero, very, very good wrestler. I don't understand the drama with the Jericho Appreciators. I mean, do they need to find a new name?
The Lost Boys.
It was Rampage. I got nothing else for that. It was just Rampage.
All righty. On that note, let's jump into Collision. Collision live from Memphis. Live from Memphis, Tennessee. Yay, we're excited. And of course, after this, we got an hour extra of wrestling at Battle of the Belts. So, what do you do with Collision? You've announced a dream match, right? What do? You open it with your supposed dream match. Bryan Danielson and Andrade El Idolo opened the match. It was a really good match. They went 18:57 before Danielson got the pin on Andrade with a crucifix. It was a good match. It was really good. They came out, brought their best, but it just didn't inspire me as a dream match. And if it's a dream match, why are you going to open your show with that? Dream matches should be your main event. You want to keep everybody watching, but yeah, no. Bryan Danielson gets a win over Andrade El Idolo. I don't feel it was a dream match. I felt it was overbooked. Tony Khan trying to sell something. He could have just booked the match and been done with it. So, of course, post-match, Andrade leaves and the lights go out, and the lights come back on, and Bryan Danielson standing face-to-face with Malachi Black, who kicks him with Black Mass and knocks him down. And then the Blackpool Combat Club come in to make the save. The lights go back out, and he is gone. Malachi Black is disappeared. We get Darby Allin with his Nick Wayne continuing that. He can't wait for a special gift. Tony Khan has a special present, special surprise on Dynamite for Sting. Tony Khan is going to, give him the book, maybe?
Please.
Anyways, then we got Sky Blue versus Hollywood Holly. Hollywood Holly. I guess she's trying to make her name Hollywood Holly. Hollywood Holly lost at 1 minute, 58 seconds to a Cold Blue. Sky Blue wins. Hollywood Holly. I don't know. Anyways, the Guns are in action. They win at 2 minutes, 4 seconds, and with the 310 to Yuma over the Outlanders, or the modern-day Beverly Brothers, or the team that I keep saying.
When you hit us up with the Beverly Brothers, dude, I could not stop laughing.
They look like the Beverly Brothers, the modern-day Beverly Brothers. I mean, go look at the Beverly Brothers, look at them. It's the same freaking thing. Anyways.
I need the music.
The Outlanders. Turbo and Tide. I don't know what their names are. Don't care what their names are. I keep telling you, they fell in the DeLorean and got brought back here. You can keep hearing, paging the Outlanders, paging the Outrunners, please return to 1990. 1990 is called and wants your ring gear back. Thank you. Anyways, the Guns win the post-match. Oh, and then post-match we had the Guns in the ring with Jay White. They were celebrating post-match. Lights go out. And then the Devil appears on screen, staring off at something. Then when he turns to face the mirror and look over, he flashes off the screen. And then Jay White looks startled or scared as they try to sell it. She just looked pissed off to me, but it is what it is. Chris Statlander, Orange Cassidy in an interview. Chris Statlander says she needs to pay pump, so she picks up Lexi Nair and a fireman carry and starts doing squats with her and asks Orange Cassidy if he's ready. Orange Cassidy's like, yeah. Why? I don't know. They're doing the Battle of the Belts after this show, so yeah. Then we got the non-title Memphis Street fight between Eddie Kingston and Jeff Jarrett. It was what you expected. Saddam Singh and everybody helped Jeff Jarrett win. It was a Saddam Singh with a choke slam into a Jay Lethal's lethal injection into a Jarrett, hitting the stroke for the 18th million time. Jeff Jarrett wins. Jeff Jarrett celebrates like he won something great. It was a joke. It was the worst die. Anyways. Then we got a moment of happiness. We got to see CJ Perry on ring as she came down to ringside for the Miro Action Andretti match. This turned into a decent match. Andretti tried to get off some moves, but in the end, Miro beat him down, hit him in the camel clutch for the game over to win at 9 minutes, 4 seconds. Decent little match, but nothing special. Of course, then later, for whatever reason, they're doing an interview with Andrade El Idolo, and CJ Perry goes and asks for his services, and he shows like he's interested, maybe. So I guess Miro versus Andrade El Idolo's next. The former Jericho Appreciation Society still arguing and storms off. Ruby Shuho comes in for the next interview. Says she understands families fall apart. Angelo Parker says he'll be a champion at the end of the night, but Soho tells him to get out of her shot. Soho wants a title shot against someone, which doesn't make a ton of sense given the graphics that show her getting a shot at Dynamite. Yeah, she's getting a shot at Dynamite. Eddie Kingston shoots a great promo on Jay Lethal. I mean, he just tears it all open. It was a brilliant Eddie Kingston promo. You don't know if Eddie Kingston's being real or fake, but I mean, it was great promo. Mwah. Muy good. It was the best part of the night.
Mm-hmm.
FTR took on Bad Dad Brown and Darian Begston. The House of Black came down and interviewed, costing... creating a DQ, and they beat down FTR. And then we got the main event, which was the tag titles on the line. Big Bill, Ricky Starks versus Willie Ruda and Claudio Castagnoli, even though the Young Bucks recently won a match to be the number one contenders for the tag team titles. Blackpool Combat Club wins. Anyway, they were all down there, and then the Blackpool Combat Club come down. And start doing a breakdown. Starks gets Ramshambo. It's done. Post match, we have the House of Black. It looks like they may have started attacking Ricky Starks and Bill Beal, but then they continued to attack down Willie Yurdo and Claudio Castagnoli. The Bryan Danielson came down to help the save, and then Big Bill and Ricky Starks helped the House of Black until Super John. Yes, AEW has their own Super John. WWE has Super John Cena, and AEW has Super John Moxley as he came out of nowhere, returning, getting in the ring, and chasing everybody out. One man was able to beat down all three members of the House of Black and Ricky Starks and Big Bill. He was Super John Moxley. The newest version of John Moxley is Super John. If you have a wrestling
like he always does.
If you have a wrestling organization, the best way to get over in life is to have your own Super John. So make sure you're finding your own Super John. But yeah, John Moxley came out in the end and was able to clear the ring and make his moment. That's kind of where I got left off because I was kind of like, oh, Super John, yay, another John. Anyways, Mr. Z, your thoughts on Collision?
It was Collision. I got nothing.
It was
but
pretty much
real quick, Eddie Kingston, the most realest person on here. You don't know if he's working or shooting. I love it.
Oh, he gave a great interview. The interview was awesome. It was amazing. I think he did a great job. I loved it. That was probably the highlight of the night. So, where are we? Okay. Anyways, we also had one more hour of Battle of the Belts. We're going to go over this real quickly because there was nothing on here that was of great significance that I can talk about that was anything more. Orange Cassidy beat John Silver to retain his title. Samoa Joe beat Tony Nese to retain his title and then issued a challenge after MJF again. And Chris Statlander beat Will Nightingale. Of course, Sky Blue came down and tried to get Will Nightingale not to shake Statlander's head, and then Will Nightingale shake Statlander's head, and then Sky Blue kind of stared down Will Nightingale at the end, like something was wrong there. I don't know. It was very interesting. Anyways, then we got Lexi backstage with Orange Cassidy because when Orange Cassidy came out, he got confronted by John Moxley because at the end of Collision started the beginning of Battle of the Belts, and Orange Cassidy and kind of hard shoulder bump John Moxley on the way up. It led to an issue. So then we got the booking of John Moxley and Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada and Orange Cassidy on Dynamite. And then we got the tag team title, or the trios titles, the six-man tag titles. I forget what AEW calls them. Anyways, the Acclaimed, the AEW World Trios Champions, the Acclaimed with Daddy Ass, take on Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker. Of course, the Acclaimed, everybody maintains their titles. That was Battle of the Belts. Battle of the Belts was an extra hour of, nothing great, nothing wonderful, nothing big to talk about. It was just the Battle of the Belts. Anything you want to add about the Battle of the Belts, sir?
No.
And that's been your weekly roundup for most of the stuff. Not a whole lot. It was a decent week. There were some highs, there were some lows. But that was that. News, rumors, and other stuff. CM Punk, we're still up in the air. There was talks that he was offered a contract by Impact. Of course, Impact had Bound Up for Glory last night. No CM Punk showing up. But it was announced in other news and rumors, very interesting, after Bound for Glory, Impact Wrestling is going to abandon the Impact name, it'll go back to a TV show. Impact will be the TV show as the rebirth of TNA is going on. Total Nonstop Action is going to return. Impact putting out a press release through their Anthem Sports that they're going back to being Total Nonstop Action in January of next year. It'll be official. They had a whole promo video. Frankie Kazarian coming out of a swamp with his chest, and Eric Young and all these people standing around talking about we need to go back to the roots, and we're going to get Total Nonstop Action coming back into the world of professional wrestling. They're going to come out in bigger arenas, bigger shows. They're trying to up their game, so we'll see how it's going. Their ratings are slowly clicking up. They just need to get on better TV, I think.
We're excited for it.
I don't think there's been a whole lot. I don't know anything if we got anything new with Alexis King this week. And
no, I didn't see anything.
Rumor mills, he's supposed to appear at Halloween Havoc, so I mean we'll have to wait and see. But the rumor mills have kind of been quiet. There hasn't been a whole lot big in wrestling this week that I can recall. That was just like, this is must talk about. TNA coming back is one. the continuing story of CM Punk, which is always out there. We're just kind of waiting and seeing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
We got
another
a busy
week.
weekend coming up, folks.
Yeah,
Busy weekend.
It's going to get busy, especially next month. We got Crown Jewel coming up, Full Gear, Survivor Series next month. Holiday seasons are about to kick off. Halloween's almost here. We're looking at 9 days. It's going to be Halloween. Trick or freaking a treat. So we'll see how that is. Dynamite will be on Halloween, so that'll be interesting to see what kind of weirdness Tony Khan's going to come up with Dynamite.
Oh, yeah.
So, anywho,
Yep.
I don't know if there's much else to talk about. Is there anything else that you think we should discuss, talk about, or get into at the moment? No?
Not that I know of, but I'm gonna go ahead and shoot the plug real quick. You know,
Go
go
ahead.
to Spotify. I go over to Spotify at the Value of Wrestling New Japan Rebound podcast. I will be doing a round of the 2 nights of Super Junior Tag Leagues, letting you know what's going on with that. And anything else added on to what's going on with Eddie Kingston and Defending Hill as well.
That's good stuff. That is the New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound Spotify podcast. Go over to Spotify and join Mr. Miguel Z, our New Japan Pro Wrestling expert over there. And, of course, we here at the Value Wrestling appreciate you. We thank you for being here. We thank you for joining us. If you're watching this later, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Give us a like. If you have comments, go ahead and drop them below because we always want your opinion and your feedback. Also, while you're here, if you haven't done it yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button because your subscription helps us grow. With every step along the way, we grow and move forward. And if you get in now, you get to get in on the bottom level of the family. You get to become part of the Value Wrestling family. And you get to be on that ground floor. You get to be here from the start. And that's always awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you ring that bell for notifications so whenever any new videos come up, because we're always putting out new videos, whether it's short form or whether it is a 100% mark, whether it's a audio article, whether it's a message from the Messiah, Marty Richards. Yeah, I see your eyes get big. Don't worry. He's not in the studio today. It's okay, Miguel. You don't have to worry about the mighty one showing up. And, of course, there's always my Big Tyme rants. They're always on here where we cover everything going on around the world of professional wrestling. We got new stories that are coming out. There's Story Time with Big Tyme. We got the first one out. That's with Lexus King. Go listen to that. Got another one in the works that hopefully will be out soon. Just want to give it some time to breathe. But we do thank you for being here. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all that wonderful stuff. We're going to break out of here this week. Hopefully next week we'll be back with our full team. Paulus Clarke will be here to join us to help this flow. We know this is probably a little more rushed, but it was just kind of a breakdown. It wasn't a over-the-top week in wrestling. It was just kind of your week in wrestling. There wasn't many high points. There were some good matches, and we discussed those. And we hope that you enjoyed, and you hope you'll be back next week. But until then, this is the Value of Wrestling. We will see you then.